Welcome to the SkyBridge mini session. Today we're going to discuss SkyMobile calibration, electronic calibration. Of course, you can do it manually. We have a video on that, but this one is going to be utilizing the SkyMobile handheld device. So first thing you want to do is get your calibration gases in SkyBridge. So once you get the bottles in, you're going to have a certification paper to get done. Then you want to make sure that you get that information into SkyBridge. So add calibration span gas to SkyBridge. Remember, no decimal points, just round it up or down. But if you notice here, there's a little add button here to add your span gases. You're going to put in the description of it, the cylinder ID number, the ppm concentration, and then the certification date as well as the expiration date. And of course, you can put in that where you purchased the gas from if you need. So that's something that you can do. You can also add calibrations manually as well. That's another video I mentioned earlier on that, but there's still a plus sign again under Smart Browse and then calibration history, SkyBridge calibration history. So let's get into the software and start out by showing you how to add the span gas. So here you want to go under Smart Browse, and then you want to go, I go into configuration and then workflow, and there's the calibration gases here. I've already have gases here, but I'll add one to show you how to do it. One tip that I want to show you though is that, or mention to you, is that see where the cylinder ID number is? This is where the pick list on your mobile device, whenever you're picking out the span gas, it shows the cylinder ID rather than the span gas. So rule of thumb is to, or tip is to put the span gas in front of the cylinder ID number. That way you can tell exactly what it is, rather than trying to figure out what this cylinder ID represents. So I'll go ahead and add 10,000 concentrations. So I got my paperwork here. It's 10,000 methane. Cylinder ID number, and this is where I'm going to put the 10,000 in front of the cylinder ID number. And then the ppm, my concentration on my paperwork shows 9999, which is 10,000. That's the concentration for it. Certification date, I got it certified at the beginning of the month, and expiration date 28. We're going to do 26, so a year out. And any comments that you may have, like where did they purchase the gas from? So in this case, Scott Gas. And the number. And then go ahead and save that. Now what you want to do is, if the calibration gas is current or not expired, it will get sent down to the handheld device. If this whole table is blank, then nothing gets sent down to the handheld, and also quarantine will not look for SkyBridge quarantine table will not look for a calibration record. If the calibration gas is expired, it will not look for a calibration record, and you can't send that expired gas to the handheld device. So what turns this tool on is to have current gas and not be expired as far as the concentration. So got this information. Let's send this information down to the handheld device. So we'll go handheld device. Sync that information, but I want to just make sure I have a route, because I just want to make it realistic about me right here. Up here, back, device. transfer. And again, it's sending down the calibration records. All the calibration gas is down, so I have them available to me to calibrate my device. Close here. Now we can connect our analyzer. So next we're going to go under here and connect our analyzer. So connect our analyzer here. Ignite. And now we can start our calibration. So we're going to go down to menu and then calibration. In there, we'll just go ahead and delete drift here. Okay. We want to confirm the technician and instrument that they're utilizing. And this is our initial calibration, so we're going to start out with 0. So whatever's on the handheld device, the analyzer, and I click inside the little box here, it's going to show what's on the analyzer. So if I click here, that means the analyzer is showing 0 ppm passed here. Can't do a drift right now because this is the initial calibration. So I'll go to my next gas, which is 500 calibration. And can you see now how that makes sense with the putting the gas concentration in front of the 7 ID? Now I click inside the box, it shows 5. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the rest here. I just do one more. 10,000. 10,000 it shows. Just click inside the box. Once I introduce my gas from my bag of cylinder, having the calibration, and I've done 3 gases here. So I go ahead and save that here. Now I can add my drift. Now this is the one I'm adding drift to, the one I just did. So I add the drift here. And as that grayed out, because I'm doing the machine, I get the initial calibration point. So go ahead and continue that. And now I'm just going to do the 500 gas. You can do all the gases if you want to, but in this case I'm going to do the 500. Some people drift all their gases. Some just do one, or whatever they're required to do. And just go ahead and click inside the box here. Size 499, that's the drift, and now I get a percentage here. I take that 9 off here, so that takes it off. So the drift analysis passed. So I'm going to go ahead and save that. Okay. Now once you do that, of course, when you did your initial add your calibration gas, you can go start your monitoring. At noontime you can do, or whenever you do your drift analysis. So I'll go ahead and monitor a component here. And I'll go ahead and simulate. So I'll go ahead and monitor this component. Say you monitor it all day long or half a day. And then what you want to do is take that information, and I'll show you where the sync where that data is stored. You see back at the calibration data that device. We go ahead and log that reading, and now we can go back to sync. Transfer that information back to the handheld device. Here, now I can go back to handheld device. Now, if I go to quarantine, I didn't have a calibration record, it will show me quarantine that I did not have a calibration record. So in quarantine, under retrieve here, go ahead and retrieve, and these are the ones that I did the other day. So it says no calibration provided. That's because I didn't calibrate the other day, but I did calibrate today for the ones that I found today. So again, you'll get that if you didn't calibrate your machine. Those again. So let's go back and see the results or where the data of today's calibration is stored. So I go under Smart Browse, SkyMobile calibration history. I'm just going to retrieve from today. Calibration date, sort. That's the one we did today, earlier. 0 to 500. And if I go back, again, I can add a manual calibration here too if I wanted to. But in this case, this is where the electronic calibration from the SkyMobile is stored here as well. Now, under reports, you can actually find actual report form, and there's a signature area where you can actually sign off on it. Under monitoring information and SkyMobile calibration history. SkyMobile calibration history. And you can pick the inspector or the instrument. I'm just going to leave that blank, but every report in SkyBridge has a report editor, meaning that it's like a PDF editor. So you can add a little signature, you can add little stamps. So I'm going to go ahead and edit. And you can have the technician when they come in and they can sign off on these reports here. This one we did earlier. So stamp. And there's some stamps here that you can do. One would like completed, approved this calibration. Okay. Then have the technician sign off. I already got a signature here that I stored, but you can also have them here. See, that's a safe signature here. You can also make a signature and print it out. Add that, put it here. Now you have a signed daily calibration record. You can actually save it in SkyBridge has this file manager now. So I can click on a little red file here, save changes, and put it in my daily calibration folder here. So not only can you calibrate electronically in the mobile device, transfer that information back to SkyBridge, store it under SkyBridge calibration history, and then you can also generate a report and sign it and save it into a designated folder. Again, close this out. There's a file manager here where you can, of course, you can organize that however you want to. You can have your folder, first quarter calibrations, and then underneath have subfolders for the month, for the week, or you can have it per technician, per machine. Sky's the limit. Hopefully it's helped out. This will end our mini session.